Hello, Simon Bucknell here, and great to connect with you through this video from my home. Lovely blank wall behind me, and I realised that the production values for this video may not be A star, but bear with me, I am in the process of upgrading and refining my home recording studio in terms of location within the house as well as the technology. So I'm still in the process of getting the pieces in the right place. But I wanted to record this video anyway in the moment. I wanted to seize the moment and put this out there before I forget, before I cool down, because it's so important, I think. So, to hell with the fact that the technology could be improved a little bit. We'll get there in time. What matters is this, the importance of us to keep talking. Some years ago, I read a book by Dale Carnegie. Now, when I say Dale Carnegie, of course, and book, the first book that comes to mind may well be How to Win Friends and Influence People. Of course, it's arguably his most famous work. And I've read that book, and it's well worth reading. But what, in a way, had more of an impact on me was his book on public speaking. How to gain confidence and influence people through public speaking. Yes, a snappy title. But it was written, 80 odd years ago. If I was to distill the wisdom of that book, and it's an absolute cracker, I heartily recommend it, even though it's very old. There's timeless wisdom in there. If I was to distill it into a single sentence, here's what I'd say. Dale Carnegie is challenging us as speakers to talk to people. Talk to people. That's the thrust of it in the book. He's saying, yes, you may have a script or you may not. Don't worry about trying to memorize. It's just, you've got people in front of you. Talk to them. And it's such a bizarrely simple and obvious point, but actually it's certainly when public speaking, when presenting, when speaking under pressure, it can be notoriously tricky to actually apply that. It's easy when we're relaxed with friends, maybe had a drink or two, maybe it's in a meeting and so on when there's a report. But to actually do that under pressure takes some doing. Now, ways in which to do that when you are presenting, whether it's for an online AGM or it's for a new business pitch or it's in a job interview, those are topics and skills for future videos. But for now, this idea of talking to people just strikes me as just so important because of the circumstances we find ourselves in. Yesterday, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, Alex Edmonds, friend, business contact, I suppose you might say. Alex Edmonds, that's Edmans, is a professor at London Business School. And over the last 6, 7 or so years, I've done lots of work at London Business School, both with groups as well as one-to-ones with faculty and so on. So Alex and I know each other. And by the way, if you haven't already, worth checking out his TEDx talks, one of which is now actually streamed on Main TED. It's that good. And it's a compliment to Alex's expertise and also to his speaking skills too. And I know also for a fact that he gets wonderful ratings as a lecturer at the university from MBAs and exec MBAs and so on. Anyway, chatting with Alex, he said, "Oh yeah, just great to have some human contact," he said in a really upbeat way. And of course, right now, I'm recording this on the 17th of March, St. Patrick's Day. My heart goes to family on my mother's side in Ireland. Right now, 17th of March, London, out and about, from what I can see, is looking pretty quiet and pretty desolate. I spoke to a friend of mine who's in the office at the moment, or was this morning, near Embankment, and he said, I'm looking out over, a bit of a wilderness. And of course, some of the images I've seen of cities across Europe, as an extraordinary video, I think, recorded in Venice, comparing the Rialto with tourists, and as it is now, clearly it's almost beyond comprehension just how things have changed on the streets right now as we're increasingly restricted on social contact. All the more reason for finding new ways to ensure we do maintain social contact, and I don't mean through the written word only. The importance of talking to people. The value I have taken this morning from speaking to 2 or 3 very good friends of mine separately, and that was on the phone, but also having a couple of in-depth virtual conference calls, one via Zoom, I think one via a Microsoft video conferencing program, to be able to actually see people in different parts of Europe and to be able to hear them and to engage, so enriching, so nourishing, and just so valuable to have that contact. It beats any number of exchanges on email. Likewise with friends of mine, one of my friends this morning, he's inspired me as a result of the conversation. And we're just chewing the fat. We didn't have a kind of, right, let's have an agenda. I just wanted to check in and see how he was doing and say hello. And if this whole saga that we're in right now prompts us to do that more often, to check in and just say hello, see how you're doing, then I'd say that's a really, really good, positive thing. He's inspired me to equip our children with access to Minecraft. I'm godfather to both his two sons, and his eldest son in particular is an absolute lover of Minecraft. And just hearing him speak about it and the benefits, I thought, right, okay, I'm going to give this a go because this has got to be something that's going to be great for our children. So there's so much that we can gain. I cannot imagine how many exchanges on WhatsApp or an email we'd have to get to that point. You know, there's something about the spoken word, about actually talking to people, to coin, well, my summary of Dale Carnegie's wisdom. So with that in mind, I encourage you to ensure that every day you're definitely talking to some people. I have decided to instill the habit as every day to make sure I pick up the phone and talk to some people, even if there isn't a set agenda, just to say hello. And if it means I have to leave a voicemail, well then so be it. But at least I've checked in person by voice, because the spoken word is not the same as the written word. So with that in mind, if you've got any comments, then feel free to write them. Equally, if you're interested in connecting with me through the spoken word, I am planning some free online webinars coming up very soon in the coming days. And so look out for that, because if you'd like to connect, then it would be fabulous to do so. In the meantime, if you're watching this anywhere other than on my website, check out simonbucknell.com. That's my digital home online. And we can connect there if you'd like. Speak well and speak soon.